Question number 3, Honourable David Parker.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Order. Point order. I'm going to hear a point of order from Honourable David Parker.
I seek leave for this question to be held over as an additional question when the Minister Joyce is present.
Leave is sought for this question to be held over. Is there any objection to that course of action? There is. Honourable David Parker, question number 3.
My question is to the Associate Minister of Finance, the Honourable Stephen Joyce. Does he still believe that a 33-cent top marginal income tax rate is the reason for fewer departures to Australia in 2014?
Honourable Dr Jonathan
On behalf
Coleman.
of the Associate Minister of Finance, yes, it is one of the factors. As I said, the combination of lower taxes, a stronger economy and more job opportunities have stemmed the flow of people to Australia. People are going to make their decision to stay in New Zealand or move offshore based on the opportunities they have to earn a good income in either country. We've supported higher take-home pay in New Zealand through lower income tax rates. In addition, 84,000 jobs were added to the economy in the last year, and weekly wages were up 3.2% compared to inflation of 1.5% in that period. 172,000 jobs are expected to be added to the economy over the next 4 years, and wages are expected to rise by around $7,000 in that time. These are all important reasons why more New Zealanders are choosing to stay in New Zealand and bring up their families in this country.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
If he sticks to his answer on national radio this morning, then, how does he explain that migration to Australia peaked at an all-time high of 54,000 in the year to September 2012, 4 years after he came to office, when the top marginal tax rate was 33 cents, as it is now?
Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
Well, Mr Speaker, what I think that means is you've got to look at the whole picture. We've had a concerted program across the economy, and I know Labor were hoping to take photos full of football stadium crowds saying that was the net migration figure. In actual fact, they'll now need a phone box if they're going to try and push that during the campaign.
That's right.
Supplementary question, Jami-Lee Ross.
What recent trends has he seen on permanent migration to Australia, and what are some of the main reasons for these changes?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Dr Jonathan
on behalf of
Coleman.
the Associate Minister, I'm pleased to report there's been quite a turnaround in migration to Australia, and that's good news for New Zealand. For example, in the year to November 2008, a net 35,300 permanently departed New Zealand to live in Australia. That's an average of nearly 3,000 every month. At that time, we were deep in recession. Even before the GFC, inflation was more than 5%, floating mortgage rates were nearly 11%, and house prices had doubled in 9 years under the government of the time. By comparison to those outflows in 2008, in the months of April and May this year, the net migration loss across the Tasman was around 200 each month, the lowest equal monthly figure since this data series began in 1996. So, New Zealanders are clearly voting with their feet, recognising the stronger New Zealand economy.
Order! Minister will resume his seat. There's a point of order from Grant. Well, I could anticipate the answers are excessively long. If the Minister gets further supplementaries, I'd like him to address that.
Supplementary.
Honourable David Parker, supplementary question.
How does, then, if he sticks with his answer on national radio this morning, how does he explain that migration to Australia hit an all-time low in January 1984 under his spiritual forebear, Nationals Robert Muldoon, when the top marginal tax rate was an eye-watering 66 cents in the dollar?
Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
The problem for Labor is they're never happy. Either too many people are staying or too many are going. But I guess the answer back in 1984 was people just couldn't afford to leave.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Is it correct that the Minister received his advice linking marginal tax rates to migration flows from Colin Craig, the man that Nationals throwing East Coast bays to, who believes in chemtrails and thinks the moon landings may have been faked?
Where there may be some ministerial responsibility, the member can answer. Minister can answer. Honourable Dr Jonathan
what
Coleman.
I can tell New Zealanders is if that crowd ever get in government, they will be receiving advice from a German resident in Coatesville, and they are the tail on a big green German Alsatian, and they better not forget it.
Question number 4, Catherine Delahunty.